Hey guys, it's Zeke and Izzy.
Hi!
We are finally making a video on how we met.
I'm so excited.
Yeah, we've gone live quite a few times on TikTok and Instagram, and people are always asking us, how did you guys meet? Where can we find somebody like Izzy? How can we find somebody like Zeke? So here is our story. Our story actually starts with Izzy.
Me! So, I just remember scrolling through one night on TikTok, and I've seen videos prior, and I recognized him eventually on the second video. And
Famous.
so when I saw it, I was like, this is so adorable! And I didn't really know, whether he was in a relationship or not, but I truly just wanted to be his friend. So then I took to kind of doing a little sleuthing on Instagram.
As every gay usually does.
I took to Instagram to sleuth a little bit, and I saw, well, I don't see anybody. So ultimately, I just messaged him being like, hey, you live in Arizona? That's the best literally I could do. I was so nervous messaging him.
Honestly, when he messaged me the first time, I seen the message where he said, OMG, you live in Arizona too? And I'm just like, yeah, could you not read my profile where it said I'm from Phoenix, Arizona? Like, what are you talking about?
I don't know. It's weird because I feel like it's a gay stigma to be like, hey, you live in Arizona? What are you doing right now?
Yeah, I do, actually.
So I just messaged him, just hoping he would respond. And then the next morning, I opened up my messages and freaked like a little girl. I was like, oh my God, he messaged me.
One thing that really intrigued me about Isaiah was that he was actually my age. And I have always had a hard time, like, making gay friends that are my age. Most of my friends are, like, 10, 15, 20 years older than me. So I was just like, oh, I want to be his friend. So we started talking. We talked for a few days, and I found out that he worked at Dutch Bros. He was a barista, and he worked on my side of town, which was kind of crazy. So on one of my off days, I said, I'm gonna go meet you, Isaiah. And so I got in my car and I drove this to Dutch Bros, and we were like cheesing really hard.
It was so cute because I got off of that shift, and all of my baristas, I told them, I'm like, guys, I have a guy meeting me through the drive-through, and everyone was making sure everything was perfect. I was also just looking at every car, and I didn't know what a Hyundai Santa Fe was. So when he said I'm in this car, me looking at him like, what is it?
So what the car looks like. And I still remember even he was wearing these checkered long pants, and it's okay, guys. It's June. I'm like, why is this man wearing checkered sweatpants in the summer? Like, is this guy not hot? Like, is he not sweating?
But the first thing he complimented were my pants.
I mean, they were nice.
He was staring at my booty too.
Bro, it was popping.
He literally was like, we both looked at each other. He was like, I'm nervous. I have butterflies. I was like, me too.
So that was only 3 days after Isaiah had first messaged me that we met for the first time. A couple days later, I went back to Dutch Bros before work to get a drink, and I asked him if he wanted to go on a date that night.
I was so happy. I said, really?
Okay, to be fair, I did not use the word date. I just asked if he wanted to hang out and go watch a movie.
But I could piece pieces together.
So I'm working. We already agreed that we're gonna go to a movie. I swear, this man took 4 hours to communicate what time he wanted to go, what movie he wanted to see. He was like, oh, whatever you want. It doesn't matter what movie, whatever time.
I was being considerate.
And I'm working. I'm like, bitch, you need to give me some details. I need to know what we are doing because I need to buy tickets.
And it was cute. I was trying to be considerate, being nice, and also I was still flabbergasted that he even was like, let's go hang out. I was like, I don't know what that means, but as far as I was concerned, I am all for it.
So we decided on seeing Jurassic, was it Dominion? Jurassic Dominion. And we headed down to Tempe to see our first movie together. Prior to that moment, I had never been on an actual date, and this date was literally magical. I remember I was wearing like a long yellow,
Long yellow, had like the
shirt,
Japanese
Japanese
symbols.
symbol. I wore like salmon colored shorts, and I was sitting in the
Crocs.
Tempe marketplace. Like I got there before him, and I see him walking up, black cutoff jeans, uh, and he had this rose. What would you call it?
It's the rose like button up. It was
Button
really
up, yeah.
flowy though.
It was really flowy.
I like that one on purpose. I wore a little bit bigger so that I could feel comfortable and look good.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not gonna lie, I told Zeke when I walked up, I was like, "Oh, you surprised me! I didn't know you were there." I knew exactly where he was. I literally saw, literally kind of peeped around the corner and like was trying to scope him out. He was sitting literally on the farthest couch right there. I was so scared. I took a second to prep myself, but like literally butter my biscuits up and go out.
So we get inside the movie, and I told him because I'm, guy, y'all know me. I don't bullshit. I said I'm buying the tickets. You can cover drinks and the popcorn. I said we're gonna be straight up. I'm paying for your shit. We both men. So he paid for the food. We got into the movie, and I swear, this was the moment I was like, okay, what is happening? I don't know why do I have these butterflies. We sat down in our seats. The movie started. I always take off my shoes. I lift up the footrest, and then the armrest in the middle, you can flip it up so it's like a little love seat. I flip that up, and this man does this. That's the first thing he does. This is my first time like being next to him ever, and he's like, I was like caught off guard, but at the same time I'm like, oh, this man's this comfortable. What?
And let me tell you, I was just, as soon as like he was inching towards me, he lifted up like the middle seat. He made sure I was comfortable, and I said, "Oh, girl, I'm gonna cuddle you. Do you see me? I literally am a big ass teddy bear. Of course I'm gonna cuddle you." And like the biggest thing too was like all of my friends make fun of me for taking off my shoes at the movie theater, but when he literally was like, "Oh yeah, I get comfortable."
No shoes ever at the movie theater.
And I literally went, "Oh. Wow, really?" He's literally does the exact same thing I do. All of my friends make fun of me, and I even told them that. He was like, "Oh no, I get comfortable." So I just was like, okay, this is gonna be good.
I don't even remember what the movie was about. It was Jurassic something. It was just something to put our eyes on, you know what I'm saying? And they were barely there. After the movie had finished, Tempe Marketplace was closing, but it had a bunch of chairs and stuff that you can go sit down. So we went out there and sat, and honestly, the movie ended at like 9:30, and we talked till after midnight.
Oh yeah, literally, we talked for several hours after, like I think 3.
Yeah, it was like 3 hours.
It was 3 hours because I had to wake up at 4:45 or before 4:45.
He didn't even care.
And I did not. And he was like, I don't think you work the next day.
I didn't know.
No. But I was like, I have to work the next day, but I did not give one flying. I was like, I am so head over heels for this man. It's not even funny. And I never am the person to be like, he's so dreamy.
Let's be real. But at that point, I was going through a really hard time. At that point, it had been like 6 or 7 months since I had cried. And I just remember this because it was really impactful that during our talk, like I started crying with Isaiah on my first date. And it wasn't like just because he was being sweet or anything. It was just knowing that I could be around somebody and feel like free. Like I didn't have to guard any sort of emotion. And that happened while we were talking on our very first day. And once that happened, I was like, okay, this is like something, this is more than just a date. Like there's some sort of connection here, and it's really hard for me to put my finger on what it is, but it's super genuine and super real.
I just remember when I saw him, like, he just started crying and like tearing up, and I felt like I connected to him in a way that I never have connected with somebody. It was way more like underneath the skin. Like it wasn't just superficial. It was very much so. Like I felt like I knew him from somewhere.
Yeah.
Like I felt like, and we've talked about this before, where it's like we felt like we knew each other from a different life. Or I truly didn't believe in like soulmates until I met Zeke. Because like when we bonded, when we started talking and connecting more and more and more, like every day throughout, I just felt like I knew you from somewhere.
Yeah.